Hi, I'm James McNabb. I'm the General Manager at Totem, and I'm here again with Paul Ferris, our Director of Editorial and Creative. Today we're going to talk about producing videos. Totem provides a comprehensive suite of video production services, from content development to planning, production, whether it's in studio or out in the field, to editing, promoting, releasing, monetizing, end to end. We've developed our video capabilities as kind of a natural extension of our editorial work. There's kind of two approaches that we've optimized for. One is kind of efficient packaging of video production. So you plan a number of videos that are all shot in the same location with the same people. You do that in one batch, so you have maybe 2 days of production costs, and then say you get 10, 12, if you do it over a few days, you could get 20 videos that you then release over a longer period of time. So we've done that before a few times, and it works very well. It's very efficient. The other thing we've done is set up our ability to create videos on a weekly basis for clients. Most of the time we're talking about in studio, and that allows our clients to continue to develop content on a regular basis and continue releasing new products every week. So I thought what we could do is have a conversation about some of the videos we've done, how they worked, where they came from, where that content went, and maybe some key lessons from each of them.
Sure.
So, make sense?
Yeah.
So the New Orleans Jazz Festival video we did for Acura a few years ago.
Yeah, the good thing to know, most of the videos we've done have been in service of feature stories we've done in print or online for a variety of clients. And the Acura one's a good example of that, because it was highlighting the Acura's sponsorship of the New Orleans Jazz Festival. And it was basically a way to tie in the brand, one of the vehicles, which was the MDX, and the actual excitement of the event. So yeah, it was a great way to kind of encapsulate all those themes about Acura and its sponsorship into one nice package. And it's something that ran on their website, and it ran actually within the main entrance of the headquarters in California. So for a while, which is nice. So people walk in, the first thing they see is that video.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I mean, they had drone shots of the bayou, and they had like the car driving along.
Yeah.
But even the scenes of the Jazz Festival itself, the Acura branding was pretty gentle. It was in the background of the scenes.
Yeah.
And it was really focused on the people. So I think the key briefing elements there were capture the place, capture the people, and put the Acura in the background, with the exception of the car-centric shots, which were obviously there for.
Yeah, the one really cool thing about it, I think, was it showed the faces of the people going to the festival. So it actually captured a lot of very young faces, which was nice. Acura wanted that kind of youthful image to it as well, so it was a good way to tie in those brand messages without really hitting people over the head with it.
Now, you were involved in one firsthand a couple years ago, working on the Geico account, where we spent some time down with Casey Mears and his team.
Yeah.
And we produced. There was a couple elements there. There was a bit of a mini documentary element, and then there was a series of how-tos, which were almost comical because they were all done by a NASCAR crew.
Yeah, we had some great NASCAR team members with the Geico NASCAR team to help us with those. And we had one on how to change a tire, what to do if you're stranded by the side of the road, and these were actually guys who were actually pit crew members. But again, it was similar to the Acura one. It was a way for us to showcase a sponsorship, in this case Geico's sponsorship of a NASCAR team, but also the underlying story of it was capturing the teamwork of the team. So we had one video we had a interview with the driver, Casey Mears, and the crew chief was Booty Barker. Robert is his real name, but Booty. Just talking about how they work together. And then the how-tos were, again, we were able to use the existing crew members, all the equipment they used. We set up some quick little sets for them to work from. We had one of the guys, we actually used his pickup truck, his personal truck, to jack up so we could show the tire coming off. These guys are great, and they were great to work with, and we did this over, it was pretty intense, but it was 2 days of shooting down there. Yeah.
Any key lessons coming out of that one?
I think, we had a good sense of the story we wanted to tell. We had a good sense of what the characters, the people we were going to feature in the story, what they would be like on camera. We knew from watching, Booty Barker during a race how he spoke and the kind of things he'd be able to talk about, so we had a good sense of that. And we knew about, the great thing was the kind of the interplay and the relationship the driver and the crew chief had already. So we knew they'd get along well, and it was they could kind of correct each other and talk on camera. So we knew that was good going in. So we prepared, doing as much research as we could about the team and how they worked, and also scripting the stuff we really need to script.
Okay, we should talk a little bit about the hockey news. So we shot the hockey news. This is actually in the same space.
Right.
And it was a weekly episodic hockey news program that we shot, and really our job was the production, and they provided all of the actual content itself. So it was really just a production gig for us. Still a lot of fun because it's very fast paced. You think about a once a week video. Well, to get 3 guys talking about what's happening in hockey once a week in a studio organized is actually a little bit more to that than you'd think.
Right.
But the big thing there was they had a fairly successful podcast they were trying to transfer into the world of video, and that was a bit of a challenging shift because same talent, same ideas, same news cycle that they're on.
Yes.
But now we put it on camera, and you've got to add a little more structure to it.
Right.
What were some of the key things you did to help get them organized into more of a video-friendly format?
One of the things we did was try to get them to have a solid intro at the beginning of the show, and not to script their entire conversation, but to have some key points they wanted to hit. Each of them knew, they certainly know hockey inside and out, but they knew what they wanted to talk about, but we wanted to make sure they were fine-tuning that a little bit, and trying to get them to think in terms of a visual format. Like you said, it was a podcast, but there were some parts of the conversation would lend themselves well to a podcast, but didn't really work in a visual format. So we had to
I guess there's a few,
bit.
I guess there's a few YouTube channels that are very effective in terms of doing podcasts on screen, but they add other elements to them, or they bring different personalities into the mix on a regular basis, and that changes things up.
Yeah.
I guess some of the key lessons there is a podcast to video show, not necessarily seamless. They're different kinds of products.
Right.
Lots of not necessarily scripting, but advanced planning is necessary to keep that kind of show tight.
Exactly. Yeah.
And length is an issue. Like
Yes.
Your drop off on a video format is going to be pretty quick, where somebody can easily have a podcast running in the background for a long time. And I guess we've done some videos for CAA as well, some travel videos. What were some of the most recent ones we've done?
We did a couple with on a trip to northern Peru in the Amazonas region, and we did one with the Bay of Fundy. And I think, those ones both captured some fantastic, landscapes in Peru. There's waterfalls, there's beautiful landscapes, there's animals, there's all the things you could find on a fantastic trip. And Bay of Fundy, again, has some fantastic natural landscape. And I think with both of those, very different places, but both of those, again, a little bit of advanced planning, but also a sense that you got to get as much stuff as you can when you're on ground there, because you've got one chance. It's not like we don't have an unlimited budget to send people back and forth to get more shots. And I think the key thing for both those videos was we had people on the ground, people who were residents or guides, for example, speaking about what it's like to live, work in that particular area. And that really makes these things come to life. So unlike the Acura one, where it showed the fantastic, all these people having a great time at a concert, really kind of wrapping everything up in a brand message, this was very much about the locations themselves, and it required someone to actually interview people who live there and work there. So the tour guides, for example, or people who were, I think, rock climbers we talked about in Peru. So just getting that on the ground color really brings those stories home.
Cool. So I mean, that covers a fair bit of territory in terms of the types of videos we've done and some of the key lessons learned. Keys to success. I'd say prioritize the story. You got to think about where you're taking your audience. They're watching it. It's got to be engaging visually. Scripting. How tight do we need to script?
It really depends on the video. Yeah, some scripting is essential throughout all videos, but it depends on what you're trying to get. A travel video, yes, but you have to account for the unexpected once you're on the ground and shift it a bit. But at least knowing what story you want to tell, like you said, and what kind of structure you want to put on the video is important from the beginning. Production
standards. So this is a big one where the story counts. It's got to be engaging visually, but can you shoot it on an iPhone? Do you need to be, television or broadcast quality? I mean, that's kind of a big question for a lot of people.
Right.
I would say most of the time we're looking at try to keep your costs down, especially doing a high frequency video. You can spend a lot of money on one video and have it kind of poof, it's exciting for a moment in time and it's gone. Try to drive business results over time. It's probably a series of videos you want to produce, in which case you want to set a standard that you're comfortable with, allows you to tell the story but isn't necessarily super costly, so that you can continue producing those videos.
Right.
And then monetization. This is important. It's great to be able to monetize videos. And certainly we see YouTubers working for themselves, making lots of money. As a brand taking advantage of the medium, it's probably a little bit different. And the question really is, develop your audience, build your own audience, and then you can start to monetize that, either by selling third-party ads or by doing sponsorships and integrations. But you have to have the audience first. You have to develop that first before you can really monetize it. So that's our 5 keys to success in video, and a little bit of an overview of the kind of work that we've done here at Totem, and why we think brands should be into this space and developing their own audiences in the video medium, fast growth medium. It's certainly something that we can help people do. It can be affordable. It can be very effective. You have to align your business objectives with what you're trying to achieve, and we're here to help. So we'll be back again probably next week with another conversation.